so cute.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
very, very polite.
Thank you. I'm like Wormmon. Very cute and polite.
I love Wormmon so much.
Me too.
What a king. Anyway, we're back.
Wormmon sat down with the monarchy. Today's coronation day.
Yeah.
Wormmon is not a king. Wormmon is a benevolent, non-hierarchical ruler.
It's so
not
crazy.
ruler.
It's so crazy that we had like just a coronation like 2 weeks ago, or like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, for Mrs. Sasha Colby.
For Queen Sasha Colby.
Mm-hmm. And we're hoping that
weird of them to not crown Lucy LaDuca, close personal friend who would never listen to this podcast.
Friend of the pod, oblivious of the pod.
Friend of the pod, but does not know what anything I talk about is ever.
Friend of the pod, afraid of the pod.
Friend of the pod, but like open, supportive of the pod. Supportive, but distant.
What if we got Lucy to be a guest and we just had her like blind react to a bunch of Digimon, like their transformation sequences and stuff?
If we ever are so bold as to start a YouTube channel, that is the first thing we're doing.
Absolutely. I'd have to put a shirt on if we had a YouTube channel, though.
You do record these a lot of these without a shirt on, or maybe
because it's warm in here.
No, we'd have to like monetize our channel for kids. So
we'd also have to not swear then.
That's true.
I don't know if I can give that up.
We won't monetize our channel for kids, but we will be on Fox Kids and 90s.
Oh, is that the channel it aired on?
Yes.
I want to see Lucy react to like the poop. That's not Numemon. Is it Numemon? The poop ones?
Yeah, we're talking a lot about Lucy. And as much as we like to let loose, maybe I'll start this episode with let loose.
Yeah, and we have another reference to end it with. Don't forget.
Oh no, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah. Secrets. It's a surprise. It's a special surprise for later.
It's a secret celebrity drag race.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Is another season of that coming back?
They haven't said anything.
I hope not. That was.
I think it would be after All Stars because I think it happened in like the fall.
We're talking a lot about drag race on our Digimon podcast.
Yeah, 2 gays in a Digimon podcast. Gays comes before Digimon in the name.
I think Digimon is inherently gay.
Yes, it's true.
Take that, finance
Homophobes.
bros. Same thing.
So today we're talking about 3 episodes.
Yes, we are covering episodes 28 to 30 of Digimon Adventure 02, the English dub, because I have no nostalgia for the original version, so therefore, not interested.
Yeah, and it would be harder for us to take notes if we're also having to read subtitles. Because then as soon as I looked at my phone to type something, I would miss...
I don't know, no one's ever been like, oh, you should be reviewing the sub. But if they have been, go away.
Don't go away, just because we need the listeners. But maybe
we don't need those listeners.
Change your mind and agree with us. Simply line up with our opinion.
Yeah, we do not need those listeners. Episode 28 is called. I'm doing a really great cold read right now. Episode 28 is called Insect Master's Trap, or in Japanese, see, I am doing some Japanese stuff. Bug Charmer's Trap. Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much exactly.
Yeah. We start off this episode with a recap by Cody of the DNA Digivolution of Wormmon and Stingmon to Pyildramon. Or Xvmon and Stingmon to Pyildramon. But that's not the last thing that happened. It was actually when... Because remember that like, them defeating the Control Spiral Okuamon and, like, stopping the flow of darkness from Ken's old base happened, like, and then the rest of the episode was, like, Izzy giving them a recap of what happened in between the first adventure and... now, and how we'd seen a DNA Digivolution before of Omnimon, which we haven't seen because we haven't watched it. Well, I've watched the movie, but...
We haven't watched it for the pod.
Haven't watched it for the pod. Maybe we will. And then Cody ends his recap with, like, like, basically being like, oh, I hope we don't need Ken to help us. And I'm like, God, Cody, just give it a rest.
Yeah. Then when we jump into the action, everybody's kicking ass.
Oh, yeah, but they're destroying the control spires, and then Davis is like, whoever destroys the most control spires get a date with me. By the way, Kari's the only one eligible. And I was like, yeah, because Ken's not here.
Because this is not a visual medium, you can't see that my eyes have rolled so far they've fallen out of my skull and down the street like that Campbell soup ad.
But that's what he says.
No, I'm not rolling my eyes at you, I'm rolling my eyes at Davis.
Oh.
Because, like, come on, dude. Be less desperate.
It's an interesting thing that all of this tower destruction aired in the year 2000 in America.
Yeah, and that they look exactly like the Washington Monument, which is, like, probably not where the fourth plane was headed, but, like, they think maybe was where the fourth plane was headed. Somewhere Washington.
It's interesting to think about that.
We referenced 9/11 in at least one other episode of this.
Well, 9/11 is canon to the Digimon universe, I think.
That's right. Mimi's the first responder on 9/11.
Mimi and Palmon.
Mimi and Palmon and Steve Buscemi. Fun fact.
And probably Michael too.
Yeah, probably.
Her friend Michael. So they destroy a bunch of towers, and they're like, "Hey, that's enough for today." And then they go back to the human world. But Ken puts in overtime to destroy the towers.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to prove himself.
Yeah. Meanwhile, but the human world, Demi-Vmon recaps the DNA Digivolution to the other Digimon. Totally not foreshadowing that they're all going to DNA Digivolve too.
Yeah.
And Davis does some silly ones.
He does. Well, he talks about him and Ken also feeling connected, which I actually thought was really interesting.
Yeah, which,
that's very anime. Like, our bonds to our Digimon are so strong that when they literally fuse together, me and Ken fuse together, even though we're not physically doing that.
Well, I think it also probably has to do with, like, the qualities that were meant to save the digital world in the first adventure were the crests. Like, they needed the crests to save them in the first place. And one of Davis's crests that he inherits is friendship. So I think that, like, it's probably like, oh, maybe if things had been different, we would have had, like, Ken have the crest of friendship. Yeah. Or something, in addition to his own crest. But also, like, it's probably, like, an impactful feeling for Davis to have a close friend in some way, because we established when he got the Digi-Egg friendship that he didn't really have a lot of friends.
Yeah, he's got a soccer friend, specifically.
Yeah, soccer boys.
He and Cody get in, like, a little argument, and there's, like, a random shot of where Davis's face is suddenly, like, the old lady from Spirited Away. Like, yeah, it's graphically scary.
And graphically different.
Yeah. It was a lot.
It's so graphically...
It was a jump scare.
Graphically graphic. Kari imagines some different combinations with X-Vmon and the other Digimon, and I'm like, Kari, what if you imagined it with a different pair?
Like one that actually happens?
But, like, it was funny to me to think, well, you know what it is? It's because Kari's from the first adventure where only the boys got to do anything.
That's true.
So,
no, that's not true. Sometimes Mimi got to convince them to fall into a trap.
No, it was mostly Tai.
Yeah, it was mostly Tai.
Mimi was a girl boss, though, and she got all the other friend Digimon to come help them at the very end, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kari imagines...
She's an influencer.
I mean, kind of. We're watching this now when, like, the 2020 reboot of the anime is out, the dub is out, which we will not be covering for a while. But they definitely didn't make Mimi, like, an influencer in the sub, like, the original reboot. But maybe they kind of have that vibe in the dub. I haven't watched any of it, really.
Oh, maybe.
So, Or maybe if they decide to reboot the 02 anime, and they'll have like cameo appearances by the 2020 versions of the adventure cast, maybe like teenage Mimi will be an influencer or something like that. I think that would be fun. I think that would be like a natural progression for her character.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Mm-hmm. But not like an MLM influencer. Like Mimi like cares about her followers and stuff. So Kari imagines a bunch of different combinations, all with XVmon, and just some funny dialogue, and there's some vague silhouettes of what they might look like. And some of them look pretty cool. I liked XVmon and Gatomon.
I don't remember what they looked like in silhouette.
It was like a cat dragon. So Cody is being super annoying this whole like mini arc.
Yeah.
He is like, I've been running with this theory of Cody being autistic for a while, but man, he is super annoying in this episode and the couple ones following, where his like stubbornness to kind of not forgive Ken is weird to me. Like, I mean, I like it in terms of like, okay, we're gonna have the kids be not immediately receptive to their new friend Ken, which makes sense. Like, that makes sense. That part makes sense. Like, Ken was a tyrant, a monster, and he enslaved like past friends of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense for them not to immediately trust him, but you know, it made sense to me for Davis, again, the bearer of the crest of friendship in this go around, to be the first to warm up to Ken. And then TK, because TK went through the whole first adventure, like, and kind of learned that like people can change, you know. And I'm sure Kari would have a similar opinion. And then, you know, it was Yolei and Cody that needed convincing. And then Yolei, she had that whole moment with when Arukenimon first appeared. So now it's just down to Cody, and like Cody spends these like next couple episodes like constantly being shown that Ken is a different person, and then him being like, "Well, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
I hope we don't need Ken to defeat the evils of the digital world." I'm like, bro, you need Ken.
yeah, it's like an unnecessary subplot of like conflict within the group when they have enough conflict outside the group that I don't think
it doesn't feel like it's unnecessary. It feels like it's gone on for too long.
Well, yeah.
Like,
I mean, unnecessary at this point because Arukenimon is like doing stuff.
Yeah, the third boule.
I mean, that woman, we don't know her name yet.
Except they keep calling her by her name in the recaps.
They do?
Yeah. And I think they've actually called her Arukenimon a few times in the show.
Oh, well, she's not like revealed as Arukenimon until the next episode.
Well, I think her name was revealed in the last section. I don't remember.
Oh, they didn't put together that meant she was a Digimon?
What?
If they found out her name was Arukenimon, that should have been really obvious to them that she was a Digimon.
Well, I think like Mon as like an ending is more common amongst Japanese names. So, the boys.
Mm-hmm.
By the boys, I mean Ken and Wormmon.
They're getting philosophical.
They worry about teenagers evolving, but like in a more practical way. Like Ken is like, I'm worried about like you, Wormmon. Like I'm worried about you losing me losing you and everything I like about you in this new fusion.
Mm-hmm.
And Wormmon is like, well, I don't think you're really worried about me, Ken. I think you're worried about opening up to others and becoming friends with the other Digidestin. And Ken and Wormmon, I think, are my favorite duo in Zero.
Wormmon is definitely the one that like Ken needed.
Yeah, I think my favorite like duo in the first adventure is Mimi and Palmon.
Yeah, that's because Mimi's your favorite.
Well, I think Palmon is like a good match for her. We saw that in the first season. Palmon was still hyper femme and girly, but more grounded than Mimi.
Yeah.
And then Wormmon and Ken, I think they have a great dynamic. So, the third boule.
That woman, quote unquote.
That woman.
Is so slay.
She is honestly very slay.
And then she has just a plot.
Oh, she be plotting.
which is very obviously a trap, but they are okay with that.
Oh, so she's like in the desert where they find where they fought, like where the base like crashed and where they fought last time, and she finds a TV that is playing a recording of the kids, and Cody roasts her.
Yeah,
and she gets so mad that she like smashes the TV,
rankled even.
Yeah. And then she lures them into a trap. But, like, honestly, like, this is, like, they all are like, yeah, this is a trap. And she's like, yeah, I'm here to trap you guys.
She says an email that's like, you need to meet me at my house to discuss property damage compensation.
She needs to meet me at yeah, she wants to be compensated for the destruction of her control spires. And that's, honestly, get them, girl. Sue those kids.
She must have called, no, J.G. Wentworth is not a, like, TV lawyer.
She called Miles Edgeworth.
Yeah.
So she tells them to meet at the Giga House, which is a big house. It's a giant house. It real big. They make some like funny jokes about what is Arukenimon gonna do? Fight us with basketball players?
I love the Giga House. I think it's a very cool set piece.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up later.
Oh.
Ken joins the crew because he got an email from Arukenimon as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting that she like is communicating them via email.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it's kind of interesting because one, it's like a super polite way for the villain to be contacting the heroes.
Yeah.
And two, it's like they keep talking about it being email because texting wasn't invented at the time.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's supposed to be like, oh, she's trying to like meet the kids with their hip young technology of emailing.
I don't think so. I think it's because she's a digital monster.
That too.
Spoiler alert, she's a Digimon. If that wasn't obvious enough already.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it's like, oh, in the like fantasy reboot that I have where like it's just an updated version of this with better animation and writing. Like it would just be like, oh, I got this text from Arukenimon.
Yeah, or I got this Instagram DM.
But also, like, I think...
I got this B-reel from Arukenimon.
I think Arukenimon posted it now.
What is that?
It's on TikTok.
Oh, God.
I think that these stories, like Adventure and Adventure 02, can only be told in this time frame, where we don't have, like, a deep understanding of the internet.
Yeah.
And now I think, like, we could still do a Digimon adventure-type story with our understanding of the internet platform, but it would have to be, like... It wouldn't be as fantastical. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, adults don't understand the internet. When, like, realistically speaking, like, Ty and Matt would be, like, 30. So, like, there is a whole wave of adults who, like, grew up with the internet.
Yeah.
So.
One note I have is when they're talking outside, Kari's talking about Arukenimon, and she's like...
She calls her Miss Congeniality.
And I was like, I didn't realize Malaysia's Baby Doll Fox was in this show.
Oh, okay. I think I was like, Sandra Bullock is Arukenimon.
Sandra Bullock is Arukenimon.
I thought that was a funny joke, to be honest. Because it's not like, it's not like Kari said her name. She just called her Miss Congeniality. Which is, like,
it was sassy.
So funny.
Yeah, which, like, I was also like, how many kids would know what that is?
I mean, a lot of the jokes in these couple episodes are very adult-oriented.
Yeah, I did not, like, we'll get to it later, but there is, a sex joke. And I was like, no.
I mean... Yes. I mean, yes, there is a sex joke, but it's interesting. I have a weird, like, because I've been a long-time fan of Digimon for so long, it's like, I don't even think about these children being children. I'm like, oh, that's my childhood friend, Kenichi Joji. Like,
yeah.
I love Wormmon. I just read that. I think Wormmon is so cute. A good boy and a handsome and distinguished gentleman.
Okay, just like me.
Yeah. Arukenimon is honestly really funny. Like...
Oh, yeah.
I think she's definitely, like, the sassiest villain that they've faced so far. Maybe, no, Ken was pretty sassy.
But Ken was sassy in,
he was, like, bratty.
Ken was sassy in, like, a Ben Shapiro kind of way, low-key.
Oh, no.
Not that he has the politics of Ben Shapiro.
Don't you call my childhood friend Kenichi Joji
Ken has, like,
Ben Shapiro.
Oh, I'm gonna destroy these twerps with facts and logic. Like, that's Ken's energy when he's the villain.
Ben Shapiro should be a Digimon villain. My fanfiction brain is working that out. This might be the trappiest trap that ever trapped in Digimon. Like, it is...
This is a trappier trap than, like, when they find, like, vending machines in the desert that say, like, Mimi's favorite drink on them or whatever.
Well, I have a feeling that a lot of the stuff in Adventure was supposed to be there to help them, but then because, like, of Devimon's, like, corrupt influence, it wound up being stuff like traps.
The corrupted!
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem Engage, and that is a game that we've been playing.
I like it. I don't love it, but I like it.
Davis messes up his fairy tales a lot in this episode, which is interesting, because it's a fairy tale or a folk tale that, like, winds up saving them from this trappiest trap that ever trapped.
Mm-hmm.
So, they spend some time arguing over who should go inside, because this, once again, is the trappiest trap that ever trapped.
Mm-hmm.
And Ken thinks it should be just him, and then...
Because he's doing, like, the noble sacrifice thing.
Everyone's like, shut up, that's so dumb.
Yeah, Davis is like, I'm going in with you, because we can DNA digivolve.
And so they decide to... Well, and then Cody, for some reason, even though Cody doesn't like Ken, was like, count me in, too.
Cody has to go so that he can bully Ken.
He has to go so he can make sure that Ken doesn't hurt Davis, is probably what it is.
Yeah.
And so TK, Kari, and Yolei are outside.
Yeah.
So they bust into the house.
And Arukenimon's like, I knew they would run right to me. That's not her voice. That's not her voice at all.
No, but you try.
I guess.
So they have it's a big empty house, and then I think it's Stingmon that, like, hears something coming.
No, it's Gatomon.
No, Gatomon hears something coming outside.
Oh, yeah.
In the house, I think it's Stingmon that hears something coming. And the Roachmon attack.
A lot of them.
Stomping on roaches.
A lot of them.
Nothing can ruin a quaint little cabin like a roach infestation.
Is that an Armadillomon quote?
Yeah. Someone says it. It might be Vmon. One of them says it.
So, there's actually a dub error here. Because I think it is Vmon. Because I remember him calling them Gokimon, which is their Japanese name. But they've this Digimon has already appeared in this season as Roachmon. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Digimon sometimes does that. Like, Raidramon, Vmon's form with the Digi-Egg of Friendship, is called Lydramon in Japanese. But, like, the L and R sound debacle, with, like, Japanese having a similar sound for L's and R's. And dubbing anime still being kind of new in this era caused it to be translated as Rydramon, which, like, Rai is, like, a lot of words for, like, lightning and thunder in Japanese. And, but now, even though the Western audience has, like, known this Digimon to be Raidramon for so long, the English version of a lot of the cards calls it Lydramon.
Oh.
Because there's an Appmon, which Appmon is a later, like, spin-off of Digimon. There's an Appmon called Raidramon. So it's like a hacker raid dragon. Where this is supposed to be like a lightning wolf dragon thing. So, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The outside gang of Yolei, TK, and Kari is also swarmed by Flymon. So they have to make their way inside to the house. Oh, this is our first time seeing Wormmon digivolve to Stingmon, I think.
I forgot to make the joke.
What?
They're fighting the Roachmon. They're stepping on roaches.
Oh, I wrote that in my notes to include that bit from Anisha's verse.
Like as a little clip, like how we say bitch that's June.
Yeah.
More Drag Race.
We haven't seen June a lot lately.
No. We can include the clip here, though. You probably just heard the clip, and I bet it was amazing.
I'm not going to include the clip, because she doesn't actually appear, but...
Okay, so I'm just going to sound like a moron?
No.
I kind of want to sound like a moron, though. I think that would be funny.
Okay. So, I think it's Armadillomon notices, or I think he has digivolved to Ankylomon at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Notices that there's something off about these Digimon. They're not being controlled by anything. And Cody makes a reference to the black gears, which I'm assuming, like, either TK has mentioned, or, like, they picked up from the original, like, the first Digidestined. But I was like, that's a weird thing. I was like, why would there be black gears? So, TK, Kari, and Yolei enter the house to escape the Flymon, but the Flymon and Sneemon just, like, follow them inside. this is what I brought up, like, why the Giga House, fighting in this, like, giant proportions of the house is, like, really funny.
Yeah, like, they use a shower head as, like, a giant water gun, and, like,
yeah,
all the roaches come out of the kitchen, so they're, like, crawling out of the sink and stuff.
And later on, like, TK, Kari, and Yolei are, like, fighting them in, like, a study or, like, a library room.
And there's, like, books getting slashed up and stuff.
Well, like, Nefertimon and Pegasusmon dump the books on the Sneemon or something, and they all fall, and then Nefertimon's like, these must be really popular books.
I like that, because I feel like...
Nefertimon sounds like Mae West.
She kind of does.
I think that's the vibe they're going for is.
I love that. Do you think they're possibly going for, like, Elizabeth Taylor as Cleopatra?
Maybe.
Because,
I've never seen that movie.
I mean, she talks like Elizabeth Taylor, you know, like she talks in that old Hollywood
I think they're going for Mae West.
What?
But I think that, like, when people think of, like, old Hollywood, like, transatlantic accents, the first person they think of is like, oh, why don't you come up and see me sometime? Which, I am shocked that I don't think any Digimon makes that reference.
What?
Oh, why don't you come up and see me sometime? I remember growing up in the 90s, and there was so many references to, like, that iconic Mae West line, which was actually misquoted. It's that line from the movie is, oh, why don't you come up sometime? See me.
Oh. That's not as fun.
I think it probably made more sense, like, colloquially.
Yeah.
At the time the movie aired. For the first time, but I think that'd be perfect. Like, especially for like Arukenimon should totally say, "Should come up sometime, see me." Maybe in my fan fiction rewrite.
Maybe. You know what shows up during this fight?
Yeah.
Digimon Survive Legend Kunimon.
Kunimon! I wrote Kunimon with a little smiley face. It is crazy, too, because Kunimon debuted, I think, on a different VPET way before Wormmon. I think maybe before Tentomon.
Oh.
Yeah. But, it's crazy to me how they took Kunimon and Digimon Survive and made him, like, beloved by the fan base. And I didn't even really like Digimon Survive that much. I teased a lot on our earlier podcast episodes of me doing a review of Survive, and I never did it. But, Slay. So, Kunimon appears and like knocks Stingmon into the giant washing machine that they're fighting alongside.
Wait, what?
They're fighting on top of a giant washing machine.
I forgot about that part.
And Stingmon gets knocked into the water, and Ken, like, jumps in to help him.
I completely forgot about this, honestly.
And it's not going well. And so Cody and Submarimon come to help.
That's right, okay.
So we have Cody saving Ken, and not because Cody likes Ken, it's because Cody feels obligated to save him because Ken and Stingmon saved Cody from Thunderballmon.
Cody wants to save Wormmon, doesn't care about Ken.
No, I think he wants to save them just to repay his debt and then not owe them anything. That is a recurring thing that happens in this episode. Well, these two episodes. The kids in the house keep missing each other. Like, they keep, like...
Yeah.
Just being... and then, like, TK and Kari have to split up from Yolei, so they're, like, in 3 separate pairs. Or 3 separate groups. Yeah, I read another note here about this stupid macho stuff between Ken and Cody. Like... Which is bizarre, because Cody's, like, 8.
Yeah. Then... Well, actually, I don't remember exactly what happens next, so I don't remember exactly what happens with the washing machine.
Oh, they're in, like, the pipe system or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where they meet the third Boulay.
Yeah, playing a flute on Lizzo Day.
She plays a mean flute. We were supposed to go see Lizzo, but she had to cancel her concert because...
She's sick.
She is sick, and we love her.
Yeah, she's sick. But also she has strep throat, so she couldn't perform tonight. So we're getting rescheduled to hopefully a day when we can go still.
Yeah.
And the thing is frozen. She's playing like a really simple like 3-note melody and it kind of drives me crazy.
Well, so...
Which is, I think, the point.
Yeah. I wrote she plays a mean flute, literally. Her flute controls the insect-type Digimon, which Armadillomon pointed out earlier. That they were being controlled by something. So Stingmon is instantly controlled.
Yeah. And then they done goof up.
Well,
Stingmon attacks them because he's being controlled by Arukenimon.
Yeah.
And then they done goof up because Armadillomon digivolves into Digimon, who is based on an insect. So he now is under control. So now it's just...
Yeah.
Is it XVmon or is it Flamedramon?
XVmon.
It's XVmon versus the two of them.
So then, you would think Ken and Cody would be smarter than this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take long for them to figure out that Arukenimon's flute controls insect-type Digimon. So,
and then they fall.
And then they fall because of Digmon's, like, drills.
Yeah.
They fall through the wood and they land on a giant spider web in some semi-compromising looking poses.
Yeah, Cody's legs... Well, not that this is compromising, but Cody also looks like his legs are just in the most uncomfortable position. Like, I got claustrophobic.
Cody looks like the classic, like, anime girl, like, holding her skirt from, like, flying
up. I don't like that.
And, Ken is, like, his legs are, like, sprawled out.
Yeah.
But they're not stuck to the web, as we see later. And this is a cliffhanger.
Yeah, they get the Arukenimon shows up was like, "This is my friend Dokugumon, and she's hungry, and she's a mean-looking spider."
Why is your Arukenimon like
so bad every time?
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster.
Arukenimon is like, "Stay put, Digidestined. This is my friend Dokugumon. It's her feeding hour, and she's hungry."
Yeah, I like Dokugumon's design because she's got hair that she's constantly yanking on.
Yeah. This is not our first time seeing Dokugumon. Remember when Dokugumon poisoned Hawkmon? Because he saved Yolei from her?
Yeah.
So...
Whoa. That's the episode.
So, episode 29. Arukenimon's Tangled Web.
In case you really didn't catch on that her name was Arukenimon, there you go.
Yeah. Or in Japanese, Arukenimon, the mistake of a spider woman. Or, no, I'm sorry. The Mistake of the Spider Woman. Which I wonder is if it's based off, like, the play Kiss of the Spider Woman.
Maybe. I've never heard of that play.
It's, like, an older musical. So. I want good Spider Digimon. Like, we see Arukenimon come back in other media. And we see Dokugumon. She's very spider-coated.
Yes.
We see her come back in other media. We see Dokugumon come back. But it's always as bad guys.
Because spiders are evil.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm
sorry.
What
about Charlotte?
I'm sorry.
Charlotte's web.
All our spider listeners, I do apologize. I respect your profession.
The spiders that are in this room. Are there spiders in the room with us right now?
Probably, actually. There's probably one or two in the closet, yeah.
Probably like, hey, that was kind of messed up of you to say about us.
That's true. I did see a spider in the kitchen the other day, and I didn't kill it,
So...
Ally.
We left off, and the boys, being TK...
Yeah.
Nope, being Davis, Ken, and Cody, are gonna be eaten by Dokugumon.
Yeah.
And
Cody's,
Davis,
like, weirdly hesitating.
Davis makes a stupid joke about, like, this is why I don't surf the internet. I hate websites.
I'm out.
And I was like, that one was for my dad on Saturday mornings.
I hope you all enjoyed this podcast. It's ending forever after that line.
It's not. I'm going to continue by myself.
Plus me.
So they're gonna get eaten by Dokugumon, and they're trying to get XVmon to help them, but XVmon is a little busy fighting Digimon and Stingmon.
And they also try to get Yolei to help them.
Well, not yet. But Arukenimon, she'd still be playing that flute, so she's still controlling them. Davis says goodbye to Ken, that it was nice knowing him, and then I wrote, gay rights!
You did.
They say it's up to Cody to contact the others because Davis and Ken's like hands are stuck to the web.
Yeah, but Cody's not.
Cody's are not. The others are not coming because they are also being busy being attacked by these bug Digimon.
Yeah.
Arukenimon
pulls a really cool maneuver too when that's happening.
Yeah.
Like they have, they're like I forget, some type of bug. No, it wasn't Stingmon. It's like the yellow bee one.
Flymon.
Flymon was coming at them in both directions, and Aquilamon just went up, and they both crashed into each other. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Aquilamon's kind of been kicking ass lately.
I like Aquilamon, man. He's cool.
Yeah.
Kari has some great jokes. I don't remember what they were, but they were funny.
I don't have them in my notes either.
Cody comes up with a weird but successful plan where he's gonna there's like debris that fell with them stuck on the spider web, and he's gonna grab a piece of this wood, and because Ken's legs are not stuck to the web,
and neither are Davis's,
and which is weird because they totally are.
Yeah.
But whatever, because they're in the corner of this house where there's an AC unit. And so they're going to have Ken kick this piece of wood to Davis because it's just like playing soccer, which honestly feels like a gay metaphor. And very Bend It Like Beckham tease.
Yeah. But with boys.
So like really like Beckham.
Bend It in Beckham.
Oh my god. So...
And they're gonna kick it to hit the thermostat.
They're gonna kick it to hit the like AC switch.
Yeah, so that it'll blow Dokugumon off of the web, which like
it blows the whole web apart.
Yeah,
yeah, which I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, and then Davis executes like the world's greatest bicycle kick in order to do it, which
he shouts bicycle kick like it's his Digimon attack.
Yeah,
which
he
is
does.
Very funny.
He also Cody's like, this is what we gotta do, and then he doesn't do anything. Like Ken picks it up with his feet, and then like throws it, like tosses it with his feet over to Davis, who is somehow able to bicycle kick without like, for a real bicycle kick, you gotta like jump and like swing your whole body, like you're doing a flip. You're doing a backflip in the air and then kicking the ball. So like him doing it without his arms, like for balance or like momentum or whatever, is like very silly.
Yeah. It's camp.
It's skilled. It's very impressive. Like, his aim, unreal.
Ken keeps helping Cody, like, saving Cody, and yet, like, it's Ken who, like, is talking Cody down to be like, we need you to help us. You're the only one with your arms free.
Yeah. And Cody's like, what?
Cody's like, but Ken is evil. And I'm like, Ken's not evil.
Also, you'll die too.
You're all gonna die if you don't shut up. So then they escape into Eximon jumps down to save them as they're falling.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all land inside of this drawer, like a dresser. But Stingmon and Digimon are still attacking them. So, I made a note here that it would be really crazy if, like, because everything in the house is huge, if, like, also some parts of the house were, like, small.
Like what? Like the toilet or something?
No, they went into different parts of the house, and instead of everything being really huge, suddenly like they were really huge by comparison.
Like that world in Super Mario 64.
Yeah. Ken develops a weird plan here where he brings up a folktale about the moth and the bat,
which I've never heard of.
Which must be like a
local thing,
a Japanese thing, maybe.
Yeah.
But. I mean, it's just like a folktale where like, oh, the bat's trying to eat the moth, but the moth hears its echolocation and it escapes. But then the plan is not that.
Well, then Davis keeps asking if that's what the birds and the bees are.
Yeah, which then Cody knows about the birds and the bees, but not Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Davis knows about the birds and the bees. He's always trying to get with Kari, like.
Yeah.
They need some consistency with my boy, Davis.
Yeah. It's not the best.
So it's time for Yolei, our woman in STEM.
She and Aquilamon killing it this episode. Yolei on the track.
It's Yolei on the track. But first, Arukenimon makes a sex joke?
Oh, when I talked about a sex joke, I was talking about the birds and the bees thing. What sex joke are you talking about?
Arukenimon says, "Don't go in the outdoor."
Is that an anal?
I think it's an anal joke. Or it's a poop joke. Maybe I'm gonna go with a poop joke.
Or it's just literally like a... Wouldn't it be wacky if someone went in the wrong door when going into a restaurant?
I think this is a joke written for my dad on Saturday morning.
That's a lot. Like, I'm not saying that's a lot like you, like, I believe you. It's just, wow, I can't believe they would have done that. That's...
So their plan is... moving on.
Their plan
is to have Yolei, our woman in STEM, use an audio engineering program to, like, reverse Arukenimon's flute to, like, nullify the mind control.
The M in STEM stands for music.
It stands for mathematics, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I was going to say mechanics, but I think mathematics is actually right.
Yeah.
I think it's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
So, but Kenna's like, oh, it's an audio engineering program. If she doesn't know how to use it, we might be out of luck. And Yolei's like, this is, like, baby stuff. I do this all the time for Matt's band.
Yeah. And then TK's like, so that's why they don't suck anymore, is because you're their secret weapon. I thought Matt got good at guitar. What a liar.
There's a whole...
TK like, doesn't do anything this entire, like, arc except for that, basically.
There's, no, because him and Kari help Yolei, like, set up the computer, like, they plug everything in.
Plugs in the microphone.
And this whole, like, sequence of Yolei, like, running on a cord across the computer screen to, like, map out where she wants Kari to cut.
Yeah.
And, like, this whole sequence is me editing this podcast.
Yeah. Yolei says something really funny during this when they, like, are recording, like, their version to drown it out. Yolei's like, I'm sorry, I just don't hear a single. Which I think is so funny. She says also a joke for the grown-ups. About
Arukenimon's flute.
That's a joke for everyone who watched, like, an Underdog story on VH1's Behind the Music.
Yeah. And then, Kari says something, like, when they replay it back, where she's like, name that tune! So... Yolei's skills are put to the test, and it works.
Yeah, even though Ken didn't believe in her.
And then
Cody did.
She goes, I'm so cool!
She does! Yeah, all the insect Digimon stop attacking, and they're like, what? Including Digimon and Stingmon.
So our friends are freed, and it's time to show down with Arukenimon.
Yeah.
And things are not going well for her.
No, I've made a note here. She is very easily rattled by a group of children. Like, she really lets them live in her head rent-free and live in the Giga House rent-free.
They're not living there. They're fighting for their lives.
I know, but it was a funny joke.
I know. You did a good job. So, Arukenimon's Digimon form is finally revealed. And what are your thoughts about her Digimon form?
U-G-L-Y, you're ugly. Yeah, you're ugly.
Honestly, I think she's even more Boulay now.
Yeah, but like the filth side of Boulay.
Oh, I think she's more horror. Because the sequence of her, like, shifting from, like, her human form to, like, her spider form is, like, she, like, throws her body down and like, writhes up, and, like, she grows, like, her dress and her leg, or her human feet, like, turn into, like, her spider legs, and...
Yeah, it's very Ganado-coded.
I don't know what that means, but I trust you.
Shout out to all the Resident Evil 4 fans. I just finished playing the remake this week.
Oh, okay.
I saved the president's daughter, and I looked good doing it.
I have a question. Yeah. Where is Anjumon?
Yeah.
Because we got, like, a lore dump in the previous, like, batch about why, like, Gatomon can't really digivolve to Anjumon anymore. Even though that's not true, we've seen her digivolve into Anjumon in the Dark Ocean episode.
Uh-huh.
But we've only seen Anjumon the one time when he was able to digivolve outside of that metal city early on.
I don't know.
He's,
What the hell is his
name?
Pegasusmon. Equus Beam is his attack.
Yeah. I mean, like, Pegasusmon and Nefertimon are cool, especially, like, it kind of made more sense for, like, Anjumon and Anjumon to be able to, like, carry TK and Kari when they're, like, little kids. But, like, now that TK and Kari are, like, more, like, teenagers, it is kind of weird to see, like, like, TK... It's kind of gay for them to put TK in the arms of another man.
I think it's also just a marketing thing. Like, Nefertimon...
yeah, that's true.
Nefertimon and Pegasusmon are, like, the new ones.
And they're,
like,
they're the ones the ones that have the new toys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... Things are not looking good for Arukenimon, though. She's still getting her butt kicked.
Yeah, she's, getting very whooped around.
I mean, she's, like, a tough opponent, because she's an ultimate level Digimon.
But she's not getting off any, like, successful... Well, Pyeldramon shows up, too, right?
Yeah, well, hold on.
She, like, runs up the wall and, like, throws, like, string at them, and it's really
her
creepy,
attack
but it doesn't work.
Is Spider Thread and Empress Haze.
Mm-hmm.
But, she's dropping some hints about the lore, that there's, like, more going on even beyond her, and, like, they don't really know what the control spires are even for, and, like, she's really, like, you know, all this other stuff is happening.
Yeah.
She's a very tough opponent, too, so they have to call, Pyeldramon.
Mm-hmm.
But things are not looking good for her until...
Mummymon.
Daddy's home! That's what I wrote. Mummymon enters.
He can't be daddy. He's too much of a sub.
Shut up. They're mom and dad.
Yeah, but he's so subservient to her.
That doesn't mean he's not the father.
Yeah. I thought you meant, like, daddy.
What's your thoughts on Mummymon?
I think he's cool. I think it's dumb that he shows up in a disguise and then immediately ditches the disguise. What was the point of the disguise?
Well, I think because we're going to probably see them in the human world some more.
Yeah, but, like, it's still funny. He's like, oh, I'm a mysterious stranger. Just kidding, I'm Mummymon. And we're like, before we even had a chance to react to you being a mysterious stranger.
Well, we see, like, in the next episode, we see Arukenimon is back in her, like, human woman disguise. So, like...
Yeah. He's also got jokes.
Yeah, he's funny.
And he helps her escape. He, like, shoots bandages or something.
They have a talk about how, like, what they're gonna do with Arukenimon first, like, how they're gonna, like, capture her and whatnot. And then, like, Cody, they don't want to destroy her.
No, they don't want to destroy her. They want to, like, lock her away.
Yeah, but, like, they obviously are gonna have to destroy her because she's, like, too powerful and, like, too evil.
Yeah. Two-legged.
But, like, Cody makes something about how Digimon can be healed. I'm like, Digimon can be healed if you give them a chance.
Interesting.
Just like people, Cody. Arukenimon and Mummymon drive a car.
They do. They drive, like, a convertible.
Our cats are outside the room
and, like, like frantically crying.
Meowing because they want to be included, but they were going to knock over all of our equipment, so they can't come.
Yeah. And she's so mean to him, even though he just saved her ass.
Yeah, she...
what a dick.
Okay, Arukenimon is mean to him because, you know, he just saved her ass.
Yeah.
Not our cats.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's funny that they drive a car.
It's so funny. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're, like, Mechanicmon or whatever, or, like, they are humanoid, but they're, like, a mummy and a spider, which, like, also what do those have to do with each other, really?
I think because they're kind of, like, classic monsters, like spiders and, like, mummies.
Sure.
I think that, do you think that they were put in this season as a response to... Because, like, they are legitimately threatening to the Digidestined.
Yeah.
But, like, they're also goofy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, even
I want to see more.
Even, like, in the dub that we're watching, like, obviously there's jokes that have been added and stuff. But, they're, like, animations and stuff are from the sub. And, like, that... Like, do you think they were added to this to compare to Team Rocket?
Oh, maybe. I have to see more Mummymon to have an opinion.
Yeah. So episode 30 is called The Ultimate Anti-Hero, or The Dark Ultimate Black War Greymon. Can't wait to figure out who we meet in this episode.
Yeah, the title gives away a lot.
So they open on Arukenimon taking a camp bath, fully clothed, on a cliffside.
Yeah, they start with a freaking Cialis commercial. That's what made me tweet that earlier, yeah.
What do you mean, a Cialis commercial?
Have you ever seen a Cialis commercial?
It's
always like couples in bathtubs, like holding hands in like random places, which is supposed to somehow be a metaphor for erectile dysfunction.
They're not holding hands, but there is definitely...
Well, it's her like in a bath. She's dressed, but she's like in a bath, like on a cliffside, which is how every Cialis commercial starts. They're like in a valley in like rural Scotland, where no one's to bother them, and they're just in a bathtub. They're in 2 separate bathtubs.
They're not in 2 separate bathtubs.
I know.
Oh, and the Cialis commercial are in 2 separate bathtubs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get it. I don't get it, but
it's okay.
I think this is it's just weird to me that she's fully clothed. Like,
yeah, and she won't share with Mummymon.
Well, because it's not a big bathtub. Like, so Mummymon is silly. He's like approaching her in his like humanoid disguise. His disguise is way less convincing than hers, by the way.
Yeah. She gives lore on like...
Well, no, she's like, she basically,
they jump back and forth.
They jump back and forth.
Yeah.
So they like have their like funny bit, and then
they're taking down some control. They cut to the kids taking down control spires.
The kids are taking down the control spires, and Ken is with them this time.
Yeah.
And then they decide to take a break, and the vending machines make a comeback.
Yeah, and the camera does this like dramatic, like they're like, we saw a vending machine like 10 minutes back, and then the camera just does a dramatic like doom, and like zooms in and like shakes on the vending machine like it's like some giant reveal. It's really weird, but really funny.
TK and Kari go fetching the beverages for the team, and Davis and Yolei come up with a harebrained scheme to try and get Ken and Cody to become friends. Ken and Cody team up to take down a control spire, and it, like, the ask of Davis and Yolei, and it works. They obviously take it down. Armadillomon and Wormmon are, like, buddies.
They're biffles.
And Cody and Ken are not feeling it, and they're being kind of dicks about it.
Yeah, because Davis is like, we couldn't take it down. Can you guys together? And then they take it down like, you definitely could have. This was all a trick to get us to like each other.
Yeah, which I was like, obviously it was a trick to get us to like each other, because there's no reason for you guys not to like each other anymore.
Yeah.
Cody's being really obnoxious about it, in my opinion. Like,
I agree.
So then they cut back to Arukenimon, and I think that Ken takes off.
Yeah, Ken.
No. Maybe.
I think maybe when they cut back, he's already taken off, like off screen.
So they cut back to Arukenimon and Mummymon, and she makes a plan to use 100 control spires to create a special Digimon to destroy the Digidestined. And honestly, it's a solid plan.
She gives us what you like to, well, not just you, but what's been happening to you at work lately, which is she gives us a lore dump.
Yeah.
She like explains how she made all the past Digimon.
Well, it's not really a lore dump because we already knew it. She gave
she like monologues about it for a minute.
Yeah, she also throws Mummymon off a cliff.
Yeah, I wrote he has big yes goddess energy.
Yeah, he is very like step on me, mommy. Like
yeah.
And we're going back to your Cialis reference where when she calls for him, he springs up at attention. So then we have so then we cut back to the Digidestined, and Davis makes a tee-hee on accident, his signature move. A tee-hee at his own expense. Where he says, he's like, you know what? I've been thinking. I think I should talk to Cody and Ken about acting their own age.
There's like 8 spit takes.
Everyone does a spit take. Like, everybody.
Yeah, it's like a dramatic cut to all 7 of the people that he's standing with.
And the Digimon. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, Ken has left at that point. And Mom and Dad show up.
Mom and Dad.
To ruin everyone's day.
Mom and Mum.
Mommy and Mummy show up. And they create, she starts to, she uses her spirit needle to, on all these hundreds of control spires that were still left in the area, I guess. And it's like it's kind of spooky.
Yeah, it is.
Like, because we just see, like, this, like, the control spires all rising, and then we see the vague outline of War Greymon start to form.
Mm-hmm. And then we also get, like, 6 Digivolution sequences in a row.
We got all the Digivolution sequences because they gotta fill time, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this feels like a short episode because I don't have any notes on it, and that's because, like, a solid 2 minutes of it were Digimon transformations.
Yeah, or, like, fighting or whatever.
Yeah.
So... it's pretty obvious that they need Ken, that Cody's like, why? We didn't need him before. And I'm like, you've needed him every time Arukenimon has shown up.
Yeah.
Like,
without Ken, you ain't got no Wormmon. Without Wormmon, you ain't got no Raildramon.
So.
Or Paildramon. Paildramon.
They keep trying to email Ken, and then.
I don't want to mess up your team dynamics.
Yeah, which I was like, whatever, Ken, okay. Cody really sucks in this arc. He really sucks. But it's pretty obvious that the only thing that, can help is Paildramon. So we need direct action for our crown princess, Yolei. If Mimi is the queen, Yolei is the crown princess.
Mm-hmm. What's she do?
She decides that she's just gonna go get Ken herself.
And what does she do when she gets there?
Oh, and Ken's like, I can't. You guys are like old friends. I'm just gonna ruin everything for you guys. She smacks him up.
She slaps the shit out of him.
Yeah, but because before Wormmon was like, are you sure? Like, we should go back and help them. Like,
yeah, because Wormmon, a man of reason.
Yeah.
A worm of reason.
A worm of many talents.
Worm of reason, man of faith.
We see he's got phone skills. You know Wormmon makes an excellent charcuterie board.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And you know he keeps everything so nice and clean. So
yeah,
fresh,
you
so
know
clean.
he washes all, like, 6 of his hands every time. So Ken comes and they form Paildramon.
I forget. I wrote he still got jokes, but I don't remember what.
But okay, so we finally see Black War Greymon is fully formed. What are your kind of thoughts?
Intimidating, and becomes even more intimidating with the next thing he does after this, but I don't want to spoil it yet.
Yeah, he's fighting everybody, but, like, he is winning.
And then he just kind of drops a nuke. He kind of just drops a nuclear bomb.
Remember, because Kari is like, we have to get out of here.
Yeah, Kari gets, like, real scared.
Well, because, War Greymon's attack is, Gaia Force, where he, like, creates, like, that big ball of energy to, like, throw at people. I'm pretty sure that Black War Greymon is called, like, Gaia Destroyer or, like, Terra Destroyer or something like that. And it is, like, a big bomb.
It was a lot. It literally, like, they zoom out and it's like a mushroom cloud. Like, it's a nuke. It's insane. I didn't like it. I was like, this is too war. I guess it's War Greymon, so it makes sense. And I did like it because I was like, oh shit.
So, I guess Arukenimon and Mummymon have been watching this fight go down the whole time, because then they are like, alright, Black War Greymon, time to go destroy the digital world. And Black War Greymon is like, why should I listen to you? You're too weak to fight your own battles, and you want to order me around?
Valid question.
And I was like...
That's why she needs the spires.
Okay, here's the thing. I really like Black War Greymon.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a character, like, he's gonna become a character.
Okay.
And he's very interesting. So we'll have to check that out. Next time on Two Gays and a Digimon podcast.
You'll never guess which 3 episodes we're going to review next. 31, 32, and wait for it. That's right, you nailed it. 33.
Please follow us on Twitter. It's still around at TwoGaysPod.
Please don't follow us home. Our address is censored here.
Okay. And please send us an email at TwoGaysPod@gmail.com because I want to talk to other people about Digimon too. Yeah. I run our Twitter, so please talk to me about Digimon there. And bye.
Don't forget to let loose.
Let loose. I said let loose.
Bye.
Bye.
Let loose. I said let loose. I'm giving you permission. You got no